Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Tonya, and if you're returning, well, thank you for coming back again today. I'm going to be working on a Dollar Tree DIY spring centerpiece. Let's go ahead and jump into this one. I used all Dollar Tree items for this design, and I love how it turned out, and I hope that you do also. Now let's go ahead and start out by painting this little garden fence with some of my linen white chalk paint by Rust-Oleum. And everyone, I love that linen white. I've had that can forever, and it just is a great paint that you can use for your finished product, or I use it when I want to do an undercoat when I'm going to be adding several different layers to my design. So I went ahead and covered the front and the back with the linen chalk paint, and I was going to spray paint this one, but it was a little cold here today, so I just decided to take one of my brushes and just really get down in each little groove and cover this really well. Now I'm going to take some of that elephant chalk paint, and everyone, my elephant chalk paint is getting really old. I needed to use that up. And I ended up using just some of that wrought iron black. And then I wanted to use some glam gold, and I really wanted to just kind of make this really old looking and have that really vintage kind of farmhouse look to it. And I just kept building up all the layers. And you can see there, I'm kind of blending that in with my hands. That's a really simple technique. Just make sure you wear some good gloves. And I mixed all those colors together and just really blended that down in there. And what really makes this work is when I add the white wax to it. And I use the Waverly brand of the white wax, and I love that one for this particular type of design. And I just brushed that on really thick, and then just took my hands and kind of blended this in once again. And once it dries, it really kind of gives that almost like a little bit of a stone look to this design, and I just really think it turned out pretty. Now this is actually just a piece that you could use for your farmhouse decor, or you could even use this in a shabby chic kind of decor setting too. But I decided that I wanted to turn this one in to kind of like a little light, and I was going to put it on my table and use it just as a centerpiece. And what I ended up doing with it, you'll see coming up here, is I put some spring decor in it, and it really made a pretty little piece. And I haven't got to see it lit up at night yet, but I'm sure it's going to be really pretty. Now you can see I'm really working in my white wax, and I just wanted to get that down in all the little grooves, because I like working with a lot of different textures in my designs. If you watch me, you know that. And I just thought this was a really fun one. And also, once you see this all put together, this would make really pretty little night lamps also for your nightstands in your bedroom. And I love using these little fencings. I think they make really neat designs, and I know a lot of us have used those in different designs. But look how pretty that turned out. Now I'm going to take these little shapes, and I could only find a couple of these, and I'm going to be using that age glaze, and I'm just going to brush it in the corners. That seems to work the best to get it all down in the little corners before I use the sponge. And I'm just going to put a nice thick layer of this on here and let that sink into the wood, and then I do sand it down just a little bit, just to kind of give it more of the few little age places and to lighten up some of the darker stained places. And I really like the contrast of this wood look with the kind of the stone look that I did on the fencing. But everyone, look how pretty this is. And like I said, you could do so many things with this design. You could put a little crystal dish in the middle. You could, like I'm going to do, I'm going to decorate it in like a little spring arrangement with some birds. And just a really neat design. Now what I do is I'm actually going to glue the top piece to this, and I use some hot glue and some E6000 because I wanted to be able to just lift the whole piece off and be able to decorate the bottom piece if I decide I wanted to change it out from season to season. So I hope this one gives you some inspiration to create your own type of design like this. I just thought that it was a really neat, versatile piece that you could paint in any different types of colors and do lots of different things with it. Now, I do decide here in a moment that I wanted to add some little feet to this. So I ended up wanting mine to have kind of that little chunky style to it. So I took some of the wood blocks that I had from Dollar Tree there, and I'm just gonna try to blend some of those colors to make it similar to the little fence that I painted to look like stone. So I'm just taking my leftover paint and rubbing that in and blending it real good. And I did pull out some of that castle paint because I was running out of my gray, and decided just to kind of blend that on top of the little blocks just to give them the color. And I do dry these really well. And then once I get them dried, I put some of the white wax on again, and then I dry that really well. And then I just take and brush it with some of the white linen paint. And it just kind of finished those up and give those a really nice little age kind of vintage farmhouse look. And I liked how they were a little bit different, but they matched my little stone type of fencing perfectly. Now I'm just gonna use some E6000 and a little bit of hot glue and glue these on the bottom. And that's gonna make a nice little base for my little centerpiece design. Well, everyone, while you're watching me do this, I will say I got really busy the end of the week, and I didn't get to finish out all of the farmhouse decor video that I wanted to. So I had this one about done, so I finished this up and wanted to get this uploaded for you today. But I've got a couple things coming up this week that I think you'll really enjoy. But look how pretty this turned out. Now you're going to see me put that light in, and I picked this light up at Dollar Tree, and I really like this one. It had the little self-sticky thing there on the back, but these are so pretty just by themselves. You wouldn't even have to put any decor in the bottom of this if you wanted to. So I definitely hope that this one is a inspiration piece for you to create just a really pretty little lamp or a little night light. But I did decide I wanted to add some little things in here for spring and just make a pretty little farmhouse type vintage little spring centerpiece in here. So I picked up those birds at Hobby Lobby, I think it was, and I decided just to pop those in there. I really like that color, and I thought this give it just a little bit of color that really went well with this design. But everyone, here this one is. I've got it all lit up on the table there for you, and I think it turned out so pretty. So definitely let me know what you think of this one. Well, everyone, if you enjoyed this one today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That really does help my channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, I hope you consider doing so. I would love to have you, like I said, as part of my YouTube family. And everyone, if you are a subscriber, I thank you so much again for your support, and I will see you this week. I've got all kinds of new things coming up. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you soon.